What's up, everyone? It's Q from Retro Q Gaming, and I've got some cool news. For the simple reason is I love it when things like this happen because they're so out of the norm and just so kind of niche. And not because that not to be a hipster or anything, because I'm no, but it's really cool that people will go out of their way to do this for because of what it is. Like, the reason to do this for these people is because they love something, or they want to preserve something, or they want to make it available to more people, whatever it is. You'll get my drift when I talk through this video. So I've been talking for 40 seconds already, and I haven't even said what I'm actually talking about. And what I am talking about is that a few days ago, a group of people have actually gotten together and they have retranslated Policenauts. Now, I'm sure most of you know that Policenauts, the game, has been out for a long, long time. Over the course of the 22 years, I believe, the game has been out. That it's been ported to several platforms in Japanese only, because the original game was only released in Japanese and in the Japanese region. Having said that, there was originally a plan for an English localization on the Sega Saturn, but that never actually happened. So, first off, Policenauts is made by Hideo Kojima. Okay, so we all know who Hideo Kojima is. Most people know him from the Metal Gear series, the Metal Gear Solid series, whatever you want to call it. He's obviously done some other work as well. You've got Policenauts, you've got Snatcher, you've got Zone of the Enders. There's a few others in there too, but that's the main ones that most people will know him from. Now, Kojima's crazy writing that is absolutely fucking all over the place in like the Metal Gear games and stuff like that. Given the fact that Policenauts is essentially what you can only call almost a novel in a game with a couple of extra little points and clicks, it works pretty well. And it's a different style of Kojima writing than most people are used to, because most people are used to, say, Zone of the Enders or the Metal Gear Solid series, and his writing in this versus his writing in those is very different. So the reason why I'm actually talking about this is, one, that this game already has a fan English translation, but there's a couple of issues. Well, I won't say a couple of issues with it, but we'll talk about what they actually are. Now, not the issues I'm saying, but what the difference between everything is and why I bring it up. So the original game was released in 1994. And it was ported to stuff like the PS1 and the 3DO and the Sega Saturn. I know my personal copy is a Japanese Sega Saturn copy, but when you look at that, and 15 years later, in 2009, the first fan translation was originally made, and it published to the public, and everyone could get at it their own individual way. Now, the reason for that is this one was based on the PS1 version back in 2009. So 7 years later, in 2016, the version that has just recently been retranslated was the Sega Saturn version. Generally, the Sega Saturn version is considered to be the best version of Policenauts for a couple of different reasons. One, it actually has a little bit extra content in the game. So it's essentially the definitive edition of the game. It has all the PS1 content plus a little bit more. So it's got all the original content and some more. So it's got some extra stuff in there too. And generally, it's kind of considered that the artwork, which is absolutely lovely, gorgeous, I realize it was made in 1990s, but it's 1980s anime style, which is just a sight to behold unto itself. Now, there's a reason why the Sega Saturn version is generally considered a little bit better. The Sega Saturn versus the PS1, while the Sega Saturn is technically more powerful, it struggles a little bit in 3D rendering. Now, because of that, because Policenauts is essentially nothing but still pixel art, because it's obviously not 3D, the improved resolution and 2D rendering capabilities generally make it look a lot nicer. So that's one of the two main reasons why it's considered the best version of the game. Having more content than all the previous versions, as well as the ability to get the best possible look out of the game. And like I've said it already, hit Google, hit YouTube. There's people that have done playthroughs all over YouTube. I've personally watched one or two of them myself because, like I said, I have a Japanese Sega Saturn version, so I can't actually play this. And I've never gone out of my way to play the old PS1 version for a simple reason is it's very unwieldy to me. But the reason why I'm bringing this up and I'm talking about this is, like I said at the very start, some people out there obviously love this game so much, and I don't blame them. From what I know about it, from the playthroughs I've watched and everything else I've read and all about it, it's a great neo-noir detective story. It's fantastic. Kojima's old style of crazy writing versus his new style of crazy writing works really well in the game that is basically, like I said, a novel, with a couple of points and clicks in there too, coupled with what I can only say is an absolute joy to behold on the screen the entire time. The setting, everything that happens, the characters, it's all just really, really cool. And the fact that I love this so much is because people have obviously wanted to bring this out, to bring this classic to people outside of Japan or people who don't speak Japanese. So it's great that they love it that much and that they want other people to experience it that much. I don't think this should ever go on repros or anything like that. If it does, there's a whole other thing with the Sega Saturn version of repros and stuff like that, especially because the copyright protection was only recently cracked. But I'm not really worried about that too much. But it's just games that are localized only in certain regions, like say, well, let's say Policenauts in Japan, for example. The fact that more people outside of there that don't speak the language will probably want to experience this, and now they may get a chance. So, I mean, I'm all about that for the simple reason. It's a perfect example, actually, is right now I have my eye on a copy of Secret of Mana 2 on eBay. Now, it's a repro copy, but it's a pretty nice repro copy. It's done with a PAL card. Obviously, I live in Ireland, so I have a PAL. I have an NTSC SNES as well, but obviously it will work on my PAL one. So it works, it's got the proper save format, and it has the fan-translated ROM of a game that was a fantastic game, mind you, that was only originally launched in Japan in Japanese. So you can see why other people may have not got to experience it, and now this will give them a chance. Perfect example, there was fan translations of Mother 1 and Mother 3. Most people are probably going to wonder why I butchered that word. But, Nintendo recently released Earthbound Begins in English, or as they call it now, Earthbound Begins on a virtual console. So it's now in English for the first time. I'd love to see some of these old games get re-released. Let's see Secret of Mana 2 in English on the virtual console, on the 3DS, or on the Wii U, or on the Nintendo NX. You get the principle of what I'm saying. There's so many games that are stuck to a specific region, and so many people that would love them miss out on them, and that's unfortunate. So I think this is fantastic. Anyway, let me know in the comment section below what you think of Policenauts, what you think of games that don't get localized, or actually people who go out of their way to fan translate games for people like us who cannot do it ourselves but can't experience these fantastic games and experiences without their help. Let me know what you think of all of that in the comment section below anyway. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You can follow me on Twitter, details in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the rest of the videos in my channel.